Hi Spirit Fam, welcome to the channel. Today I have a pick a card on the energies surrounding you and their urgent message. Welcome back to the channel. If you are coming back, we so appreciate you. We welcome you back, and we want you to know that we value each and every single one of you. If you are new to the channel, welcome to Eileen Into Spirit. My name is Eileen Rouse. I am a psychic intuitive, a spiritual coach, a sound healing practitioner, and I am here to deliver this beautiful pick a card for you. I want you all to note that this is going to be a general reading. So that means that it is not going to resonate with every single person out in the collective. So I ask that you take with you what resonates and leave the rest behind. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into each one of these piles. Welcome back, Spirit Fam. So as you see, there are 4 piles in front of you. So I want you to go ahead and take in a nice big deep breath. Allow yourself to get truly centered. Call in your higher self and allow your higher self to guide you towards the pile that is truly speaking to you, towards the pile that is calling out to you, for this is the message that you need to hear in this moment. So pile 1 is going to be carnelian. Pile 2 is going to be amazonite. Pile 3 is going to be the Dalmatian stone. And pile 4 is going to be raw morganite. Once again, we have pile 1 with carnelian, pile 2 with amazonite, pile 3 with Dalmatian stone, and pile 4 with raw morganite. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into your message. Hi, pile 1. You have chosen the beautiful carnelian. So I want to go ahead and I want to show you this beautiful card up close and personal so that you can get a great idea of what this message is for you, what its meaning is, and how your message is getting started. So I want to point out that I really reference carnelian as the confidence stone. It is the stone that I often give to, or I encourage my clients to put within their collection of stones if they are struggling to find the confidence within themselves in what they are doing and confidence in trusting the path that is being laid out for them. So your message right off the bat here is that you are being asked to build your confidence in yourself and in trusting that where you are being led is where you are meant to be. It's really about having this sense of self-assurance. And it's about being assured within yourself, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. You are doing exactly what you need to be doing, and you are in the right place at the right time. I cannot stress this enough for you here, pile 1. You know, this is really about you trusting in the strengths that you have been provided and trusting and being confident that, you know, the universe itself is lighting the path for you. And all it requires of you is for you to trust and to continue to take those steps forward and sort of allow yourself to be led blindly. I feel like for you, pile 1, you really like to have a deep sort of confirmation per se that what you are doing, where you are going, what is surrounding you at this time is exactly what it needs to be. It's almost like you're needing that reassurance. You're needing that confirmation from your team, your guides, your angels, that you're exactly where you need to be and that you are experiencing exactly what you are experiencing. And I'm here to tell you, Pile One, that your message is loud and clear with the carnelian. It's wanting you to understand that the confirmation that you need is about trusting yourself, trusting your gut, trusting your instincts, having that confidence, that sense of self-confidence and awareness within yourself that you are exactly where you need to be. Now, I want you to understand that I feel like a lot of times when you feel like you're being left behind or when you feel like you're not exactly where you need to be, one of the great things about carnelian is that it helps you build that confidence, grow that confidence within yourself, that you can experience a great sense of dignity and poise even when you are not clear about what it is that you are or where you're going, or even when you feel like you're not perfect, even when you feel like things aren't exactly as they should be, right? Like when there's a lot of sense of uncertainty within yourself here. Pile One, carnelian is a really great stone for you to start carrying within your arsenal every single day. So if you're struggling with confidence, whether in your work, in your new career, whatever it might be here, Pile One, I feel like your team is really wanting you to really focus in on bringing in some carnelian spirit to your everyday so that you can grow that confidence and feel this sense of dignity and poise and self-assurance within yourself that you are exactly where you need to be. You are perfect exactly the way that you are, and you're doing exactly what you should be doing. So let's go ahead and move on here, because I'm really excited to see what your urgent message is. So we are going to start off with exposed and revealed, opening to discovery, and quieting the mind. Okay, I absolutely love this, because what this is really telling me is that there is a lot of you here, Pile One, that sort of feels like you're raw, like you're out there, like everybody can see all of your flaws. Everyone can see everything that I guess, of this perception that there is something wrong with you, right? And I feel like this sense of uncertainty, or this sense of uncomfortableness that you feel, this lack of confidence that you feel, is really sort of coming to the surface. It's being revealed to you at this time because you're needing to see clearly. You're needing to see that your own mind, or what you believe about yourself, is really flawed. It's flawed in the aspect that you're believing in the fear. You're believing in this sense of, I guess, this illusion that you're not this, perfect, person that other people might actually see. But I feel like this rawness, this sense of authenticity that is sort of trying to reveal itself to you, is really opening you up to uncovering a little bit more about yourself here. And I feel that this is important. This is important for you, Pile One, because you're needing to discover who you truly are. You're needing to discover the beautiful things, the magnificent things, the secrets that are deep within you that ultimately will lead you to something more, right? Like you uncovering the depths of who you truly are and so much more. Now, what I do want to point out here is that I feel that sometimes we have to really allow ourselves to feel naked. We have to allow ourselves to feel like we're we have to allow ourselves to feel the shame and the guilt that we feel. You know, it's interesting because sometimes we can feel like we're an imposter in whatever it is that we're doing. You know, you've heard the term imposter syndrome, right? But the thing is that it's an illusion. It's not real. It's just this belief that you have that you're an imposter in your own life and that you're not really who you want yourself to be, right? So understand that being exposed and being revealed is about letting go. You have to let go in order to truly see things move in magical ways. So it's important that you know that the life that you experience is all meant to help you. It's like a stepping stone. It's there to help you build more and grow more. And it's really about, you know, you being willing to let go of any perceived conditions, beliefs, that you currently have that's sort of holding you back, that's keeping you prisoner in this state of unawareness or in this state of lack of confidence, right? Because the carnelian spirit has really come forward for you here, Pile One, wanting you to understand that you need to find your dignity and your poise, and you need to be self-assured that you are exactly where you need to be. You have the knowledge, the skills, the talents. You have everything you need to be powerful and to be beautiful and magnificent. It's really about you trusting in yourself, trusting in your gifts and your abilities that you have been given. And so all of this feeling of not being worthy, or this, you know, sense of being an imposter in your own life is really what's being revealed to you. And I feel this is why you're sort of witnessing it around you, and why you're probably hearing it all around you. It's because you're needing to be aware that this is something that you need to discover or uncover about yourself. Because as we move on to opening to discovery, what I love is that we see a beautiful keyhole and we have a key. And the one thing I always say to my clients who are doing coaching with me is that you hold the key to your own discovery. And it's important that you recognize that you are the key. You're the only one that can push that key in the keyhole and turn the switch, right? And opening to discovery, it's really about, you tuning into the information around you, right? So like if you're constantly getting information around you about imposter syndrome and you're questioning as to whether you believe that way about yourself, then this is where you need to collect all of that information, collect all of that data, and really utilize it, really tune into it, and put meaning into it. You have to dig deep within it, because that is how you uncover the truth, the reality, and the depth of who you are. And I feel that this is the most beautiful thing that you could possibly understand about yourself here. I feel that it's important that you also sort of pay very close attention, Pile One, to the messages that you are listening to in your outer surroundings. It's important that you remember that all of the things that we surround ourselves with, the things that we constantly listen to, we ultimately form a belief system around them. And so if you're constantly feeling like you're not enough and you listen to things that reinforce that, then that is something that ultimately needs to change. And I feel that the only way that you are really truly going to understand the depth of who you are and truly connect to that deeper inner part of you is through quieting the mind. And quieting the mind is all about making time, making space for meditation, and just really listening inwardly, right? It's not about listening to things outside of you, but listening inside of you. Because I want you all to know here, Pile One, that the experiences that you have on the outside of you is truly a reflection of what is going on internally within you. And I don't feel that people really realize that. They don't connect the two. And it's important for you to recognize that if there is internal turmoil going on within you, in your mental space, in your spiritual space, if there's chaos and there's confusion and there isn't any clarity or any guidance, then that's because you're not making time to quiet the mind. You're not making time to create space for you to release all of that chaos and clutter and fuzziness that ultimately isn't serving you. So making time to, self-nurture, self-care for yourself, making time to be still and to just be in your quiet space is very important for you. I feel that it's going to hold a lot of value and a lot of importance for you. And I feel that it's going to be necessary for you. I'm not going to lie here, Pile One. I feel that it's going to be very necessary for you in the simple aspect that it ultimately is going to be where you are going to really truly grow in your confidence in who you are and find your sense of dignity and poise. So moving on, we're going to do the tarot now. So we can truly get more detail about your message here. So we are starting off with the Sun card, which is good. This is about internal happiness. Okay. Then we have the King of Earth. This is beautiful. So the King of Earth is all about, our assets in all aspects. It can be, it's mostly in the physical, right? It's mostly going to be about the physical. Then we have the Fool card. Yes. So the Fool card here is truly representing you needing to take a risk, to really do something different. And I feel that this is not a very comfortable space for you. It's something that's very new for you. You learning to have a little bit more confidence in yourself or confidence in what you are doing is new territory for you. So it feels risky and it feels like, you might slip up or something else might occur, right? And that brings in a lot of fear. So with the Nine of Air, it brings in a lot of doubt. It brings in a lot of fear, of all of the potentials that could possibly happen that could go wrong, right? And that could ultimately leave you stranded in some way. But the thing is that you have to remember that, we don't change our beliefs or our perceptions overnight. It takes work. It takes time. It takes dedication. It takes commitment, right? The Eight of Earth is all about that hard work that we put in. And I look at it as apprentice energy. And I feel that for you here, Pile One, this is all about you needing to trust that all of the assets that you have within you are really going to bring forward for you the steps, the know-how on how to transition from a place of not having a sense of confidence into having a sense of confidence, right? And it's really about you working hard at it, being the master of oneself and trusting that whatever comes through is meant to come through for a reason. And I absolutely love this because I do feel that here with the Nine of Earth, this is something that you often allow to take over in your mind, right? Like, so you allow your own innermost fears to come forward and to take residence in that mental headspace, right? It's often what triggers you in or spirals you into this constant, I'm not worthy, statements all the time. And you end up seeing them all around you, right? But if you can commit to yourself, if you can work towards finding time to quiet the mind, to be in a meditative state, to start changing your perception or your perspective on your own self-worth, even though it's something that's new to you, right? And you feel like you're still a fresh-born baby at it, you will eventually blossom and grow. You will learn from each and everything that you do. And I do feel that, there's still a lot for you to learn. And you will get through it, Pile One, but it's going to take time and commitment on your part. So next we have Stranger with Curiosity and the Perfect Storm, the courage to step into life. Okay, this is interesting because I feel that ultimately what this is saying here is that, there is a lot of curiosity energy. You're very curious about the potentials, about what could be and how things could evolve and how things could change. But I feel like it feels so awkward to you that there's more fear attached to it than there is curiosity. And I feel that I think this is why you got the Fool card with the Nine of air right side by side. Because with the Stranger, it's something that's different, right? Having this energy within you, this imposter syndrome within you, is different. It makes you feel very off, right? But you need to be curious enough about it to explore the depths of it. You have to be able to move past the fear of what's different in order to accept it, right? And I feel that is how you're going to move past. That's how you're going to get through this. You have to be willing to move through this sense of darkness or this sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to be able to move through this darkness and move through this imperfection perception in order to truly shape it and accept it for what it is, but knowing that it is nothing more than an illusion, right? Fear is an illusion. It is just false evidence appearing real. It prevents you from truly moving forward. And that in and of itself is what creates a lot of chaos. It's what creates a lot of stigma in your life. And sometimes people look at it as storms, right? So the perfect storm here is, again, it's wanting you to find the courage to step into life, to be curious enough about it, to explore the depths of it. And what I love is that this card has a raven on it, and a raven is all about that intuition. It's about that deep knowing. It's about the unknown. And I feel a lot of times we fear the unknown because we have nothing to base it off of. And I feel that for you here, because it is a 44, this is really about you finding that perfect foundation, right? Finding that perfect sense of stability that makes you feel very confident and very secure in what you are doing. Now, this is wanting you to act. It's wanting you to take charge. Again, as I see it here with the Eight of Earth, it's really about you taking charge, being courageous enough, moving ahead, even though you might be getting like this caution, right? Yeah, beware, these warning signs. I feel this is what you're really needing to do. You have to become very centered and balanced in yourself. And I feel that by not having this sense of confidence within you, it keeps you very off balance. And being off balance is not how you move forward. You have to find that sense of stability and that sense of balance, okay? Next, we have sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows everywhere. So I'm going to read you what it says in the book. But the way that I'm kind of interpreting this is that I feel that what it's saying is that there is so much beauty and color, and there is so much magnificence to witness and experience even in the darkness, even in the chaos, even in the confusion. It's how you perceive it. So what it says in the book is it says, you have every reason to skip, to hop, and to leap with joy. Optimism is the only reasonable choice because everything else is an illusion. I love this. I love this. Hope is the only thing that matters because it points to the inevitable. The glass is not only half full, as Psalms 23 says, it runneth over. So again, what this is saying to you is that it's all on how you perceive it, right? If you can be curious enough and you can be courageous enough to explore the depths of why you feel you're not confident enough or why you feel that you're not worthy enough here, pile one, and you can see the sunshine, the lollipops, and the rainbows and the goodness that is deep within all of that, then you will have so much to be grateful for, so much, a real sense of a realization of how confident you truly are. Just being willing to take a step towards discovering this is one step in confidence. One step in confidence. Okay. So our last card is going to be from a high frequency deck, and I will read you what it says in the book. And your message is color. And again, it's a 40, which is a 4. So I feel that this is really about you needing to find balance, finding stability in your life, feeling secure in your life and in your everyday experiences and everything that goes on around you and within you. I really feel that this is really about you needing to just experience that in all of its waves, okay? Color. Your perception of life is becoming more colorful. You are opening to different colors and different experiences. Color breaks up old. It breaks up black and white thinking and opens your heart to the beauty of life and love. The colors of the rainbow are variations of white light, reflecting the diverse experiences of life, and they are all valid. Each color of the spectrum has its own energetic vibration that stimulates certain responses and healings. Different colors mirror your current physical, emotional, and spiritual state. Your soul uses this mirror to communicate your need to heal or to embrace balance. Get to know what colors you are attracted to and the ones that repel you. You are love and you are loved, no matter how colorful you or another's life is. So, pile one, this is your beautiful, magnificent message. I feel that the energies that are surrounding you here are energies of you needing to be courageous and take a step forward towards finding your true confidence, to being confident in yourself, in your work, in whatever it is that you are currently struggling with. And I feel that this is a new experience for you. It makes you feel like you're taking a risk by exploring this. But I promise you that once you do, you will uncover so many beautiful rainbows. You will find balance, you will find harmony, and your life will be so much better for it. So Pile One, this is your message. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys. Hi, PileTwo. Welcome to your beautiful pick a card on the energies that are surrounding you and the urgent message that you need right now. So we are starting out, PileTwo, with this beautiful Amazonite card. And the message here with Amazonite for you is that Amazonite really speaks about truth. It speaks about the things that are going to be revealed to you at this time. And it's how the evolution is with the natural flow of events. So I feel like what I'm picking up here is that for you, PileTwo, you might have this idea or this, you might want things to be revealed to you in a certain way. And I feel like the one thing that's sticking out to me the most is our sense of instant gratification. Like when we want things right now. We want them instantaneously. And unfortunately, how things unfold universally isn't always in our sense of timing, right? Not everything reveals itself to you right away, especially when we're seeking for clarity or when we're seeking for guidance. When we're wanting the full details of how things are going to unfold and what it's going to look like and how that's going to benefit us and how that's going to change our world and our life and our experiences. It's important that you recognize that I feel that the primary message here for you, PileTwo, is that when the conscious universe is unfolding a plan for you, there is so much more information and detail in that unfolding that you, in essence, are not privy to, right? And it's so much more than you could possibly imagine, that the whole experience of going through the unfolding of those events and what transpires in the unfolding is all about you learning to trust in the process of how the events and things unfold, right? So it's really about you learning more, having that deep sense of lesson that goes with each unfolding and how that information gets revealed to you in the end. And sometimes that can be very hard to take, right? Because I know from my own personal experience, a lot of times when I ask for clarity or when I ask for guidance, it comes in like little batches, little bits and pieces. And sometimes not knowing the full details and what that's going to look like and how that all is going to unfold can be very frustrating because there's a lot of unknown in all of that. And it makes us feel like, oh my gosh, I have to prepare, right? And our minds are so vivid that we create such a big mountain over a small little molehill, and we make it far more intense, far more in some cases disastrous than it really is, right? But your message here is really about you learning to trust how things unfold and trust that they are unfolding universally the way that they are meant to, okay? So let's explore, okay? So we have Wish Upon a Star, Seeing Beyond. Okay, this is making sense. Oh, and endless possibilities. I love this. Okay, starting off right off the bat, when we ultimately know that Amazonite is all about truth being revealed to you and learning to trust on how those truths get revealed to you, right? Wishing upon a star is really about us sort of having, I guess what you would say, positive expectations. It's about really looking in at our intentions, right? What are the best intentions that we could possibly have based off of events that have yet to be unfolded, and we have no idea on how they're going to unfold, right? Instead of wishing for an outcome that only benefits one specific person or benefits one, why it's so much better for us to have positive intentions and expectations for the greatest good of all, right? Wishing upon a star is really about, acting consciously and committing to a vision for the greater whole. And, PileTwo, I kind of feel like for some of you, this is really about your own personal life. And for others of you, this is really about, relationships and how those relationships unfold in your life and what they look like. And I want to point out here that, we all have our own expectations of what we want certain relationships or certain events to look like, or how we want them to go in our life. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen that way, right? But we can set our intentions on the greatest good for all, right? For the greatest good for yourself. But it's really about, instead of focusing on all the things on how things can go wrong, focus on the things on how well, or being, sort of like being surprised, being curious about how those things are going to unfold for you, and all of the many wonderful surprises that you get to unwrap as things begin to unfold, and all of the beautiful experiences that you are going to have. And I feel that ultimately this is really about you not giving up hope, right? It's really about doing exactly that, wishing upon a star, not giving up our hope or our faith that we could still, win the lottery, or that we could still, have all of our dreams and desires met, right? I feel that's one of the biggest things here with wishing upon a star. Okay. And it's also about you letting go of the how. I feel this is the most important thing for you here, okay? Because I feel that a lot of times when we say, I wish, you have to really focus on what intention it is that you're setting. Really being aware here, PileTwo. When you say, I wish, right? There is a part of you that sort of feels there's no way that could possibly come true. Right? So there's still sort of a disconnect when it comes to what you're truly desiring and how it's going to actually show itself for you, right? When there is a disconnect that way, that is something that needs to be fixed, right? You have to fix that connection. The other thing is that I think a lot of times we get so caught up in how it's going to work itself out and how it's going to show up. And that's the part that we need to let go of. When we wish upon a star, when we are setting our intentions, when we are focusing our intentions on our aspirations, we have to let go control of how it shows up. And I feel that's the important message for you here on the wish upon a star. You have to let go of how it shows up, because you have to learn to trust that it is going to unfold and show up the way that it is meant to. Now, next we have seeing beyond. Now, this is about your vision, right? The vision. And it's about really, imagining for yourself, and holding that vision and being able to see beyond the material. Now, the one thing I will tell you with the see beyond, for me, it's all about learning to trust in the guidance that you receive from your inner knowing, your inner oracle, your inner intuition, because this is all about you trusting in that. And it's really about, understanding that there is a part of you that is truly connected to the spiritual realm that already has that insight, that wisdom, that knowledge, the know-how, right? But it's all about you repairing that connection, really connecting both of those things. And what I love here is that you have stars, literally either a picture of a star in each one of these cards. Well, actually you do. You have stars in each one of these cards. And I can't point out enough for you here that this is all about the infinite possibility and potentiality that is accessible to you when you can learn to just let go. When you can learn to just be and allow things to unfold naturally instead of trying to force things to happen because that's how you want them, right? And I feel this is where you're needing to trust. You're needing to be very transpersonal about your experiences and everything that you experience in your reality and you encounter, and really allow things to just unfold naturally, right? Because the message here is that when you can let go of the control and you can stop forcing things to happen, you will be amazed at how many endless possibilities there are. And the message too here is also that, we sometimes, as spiritual beings, when we're having human experiences here, PileTwo, we get so caught up in the how and the when that we automatically start focusing more of our attention on that when something does show up and we don't recognize it because we're only seeing it from a certain perspective, right? Because we only believe it to be possible, or that it's a potential because it's what we believe or perceived, right? What we thought of. But what they're wanting you to know is that there are endless possibilities on how things will unfold and how they will be revealed to you. It's really about you just being open enough to accept how it gets revealed to you and allowing it to just unfold the way it's meant to unfold. I absolutely love this for you, PileTwo. So let's go ahead and dive into the tarot here, because I'm really curious as to what all is coming through for you. So right off the bat, we have the 8 of Air. Okay, so I do feel that when it comes to your beliefs, your perceptions, I feel that you feel very restricted. And I do feel that you're very limited on your perceptions about how these events are going to unfold or how truth is going to be revealed to you. And I feel that you need to be a little bit more practical, right? Like I feel like you're sort of up in your head, just constantly thinking about different scenarios, different situations on how things can unfold or how they will be, revealed to you. You need to get out of your head. You need to be a little bit more grounded, a little bit more practical, and you need to be more in touch with what is going on in this physical reality. Now, here's what's interesting, right? You have temptation here, which is devil energy, right? But I feel like, and you could possibly be this person here, PileTwo, where you love playing out scenarios in your mind, right? For you, that sort of, you feel so tempted by that. You feel so tempted to continue to feed those illusions because it's what, I don't know, like if it's something that gives you pleasure, whatever it is. But here's the thing. The one message behind temptation is about choice. You have a choice. You can choose to continue to feed the illusions and feed whatever scenarios you have going on in your mind here, pile two, or you can take a firm stance with your feet firmly planted on the ground and say, no, I choose to be practical about my dreams, my desires, my aspirations, and I'm going to be open to how they are going to be shown to me, revealed to me, how they're going to unfold for me in this reality. And I will not be tempted by false visions or dreams or other things that are going to push me towards, you know, that false interpretation of it, right? Now, you have the Hermit card here, which tells me, right? And then I'm just going to put this down because this is the Nine of Water, which is the Nine of Cups, okay? So here's how I see it, pile two. With temptation being at the heart of your reading, it really tells me that, you know, you're very tempted. There's a lot of things occurring, a lot of choices that you are going to have to make when it comes to your dreams, your visions, your aspirations of what you're truly, you know, regarding these particular events or situations or circumstances, right? You're going to have a lot of choices to make and you're going to have to choose. You're going to have to be very practical about your intentions. You're going to have to be practical about what you believe, but ultimately how you truly move to that is by doing this introspection, right? By truly trusting that inner aspect of yourself, really asking yourself hard questions and really asking yourself, you know, what is it that I really want? And am I willing to really do what is required of me to be able to encounter the happiness or the joy or be on the path that is being revealed to me or being laid out for me, right? I think ultimately for you, pile two, is that you have to learn to trust in yourself. You have to learn to trust that how things get shown to you or how they get or how the events unfold has nothing to do with what you've done, okay? Because I feel like a lot of times we sort of take this stance that, well, maybe I wasn't good enough or maybe I didn't try hard enough, right? You get so preoccupied on you know, finding reasons as to why it didn't plan out or turn out the way that you expected it to, right? But again, when you hold specific expectations, then you're not really open to endless possibilities, right? And the middle card here was seeing beyond, right? You have to be able to see beyond what is currently going on, right? And this is about you connecting to that spiritual aspect of yourself, trusting that all of the keys and information that are coming to you and being revealed to you because you're needing to make a choice. You're needing to choose which path you want to take and understand there is no right or wrong, right? I do feel that you will overcome and you will have the happiness and you will, you know, as this red carpet or as this path gets, you know, unfolded for you, I feel, pile two, that you will be on the right track. You are on the right track. You're not, if you're watching this, I'm going to just tell you right now, you are on the right track because those people who are not on the right track don't care where they are. So next up we have Sky Dancers with Surrender. Yep. Now this is interesting because you got 3 of these cards. We got Closing Door with Completion and whale song resonating. This is beautiful, okay? So Sky Dancers is all about surrendering to the process. And the whole time I've been saying to you that you have to learn to let go of how these events unfold for you and how the universe unfolds certain things for you and how the path ends up showing up for you. It's all about you surrendering, right? Just being in the joy of experiencing everything as it sort of becomes available to you. I do feel that, you going through this experience is all about, understanding that there are certain cycles that must come to an end and you're completing a cycle, right? And when one door closes, that means that there's another door close by with an opening for you to walk right through. Because when you close a door, you're faced with a journey. You can't go back. All you can do is continue moving forward. And eventually you will end up at another door that will open itself up to you. And if it doesn't open, then that means that there's something in that space. There's something in that experience. There's something in that path that you're needing to sort of resonate with because there's something there for you. It's really about you finding that sense of harmony and enjoying being in that space. Because it's all about growth. It's all about finding that vibration that feels right to you, okay? Because I feel like this is really about your path and where you're going. And it's all about, finding the right path, right? Finding the path and what that path itself has for you. Amazonite is all about, we said it earlier, right? It's about, trusting that what is being, the truth being revealed to you, right? And there's nothing more truthful than being, harmonized, resonating with the energy that is around you or the space or the events as they unfold, okay? Your next message is, look at that. Your next message is GPS. Now, I can only imagine what GPS is because when I think of GPS, I think about us finding the path, right? We're going from one location to the next, right? And it's ultimately about it guiding us, moving us towards our destination, our next path, right? So in the book, GPS says, OMG, your intuition is being a real show off these days. It's so ready to help navigate your life, and quite frankly, it's getting a tad bit impatient. It just can't understand why. When it knows the fun, easy route, you insist on doing everything. It just can't understand why. When it knows the fun, easy route, you insist on doing everything without its help. There's no need to be lost, ever. Especially now that you're about to stumble onto a gold mine. Okay, PileTwo. It doesn't get any more significant than this for you. So the truth being revealed to you here is that you're needing to trust your intuition. You're needing to trust that as things unfold for you, your guides, your team, your intuition, your, spirit guides are wanting to help navigate you. But I feel like you're not listening. And so they're trying to get your attention. And I've been saying this. I've been saying this since the get-go. If you can just let go, if you can just surrender and allow things to unfold naturally. It literally said you're about to hit a gold mine. And I do feel that you're about to enter a new cycle, a new beginning that is going to be full of so much joy, so much happiness. You're going to feel like you're in the right place for the first time in your life. And it's all about you just trusting. Now, your next message is a high frequency card, and we will read what it says from the book. And you got ask your soul. And I love this card because this card truly speaks about, trusting our inner guidance, trusting our inner tuition. It really speaks about that connection that we make with our inner guidance and our inner intuition, right? Because when we ask, we will receive, right? So here's what Ask Your Soul says. Something you have asked for will soon turn up in your life. Every time you request something, you plant a seed in your quantum field or vibrational reality, where it begins to grow and move toward you. This is how we create and expand consciousness. Asking is the first step in any creation. It only needs to be about 10% of the creative process. But somehow, most of us make it about 90%. If we don't see any evidence our desires are coming into existence, we keep asking. This holds us in a place where the answers can't be heard. I'm going to say that one more time because I think we said this earlier on in the reading. If we don't see any evidence our desires are coming into existence, we keep asking. This holds us in a place where the answers can't be heard. What you desire is on its way. You only need to ask once. It doesn't matter whether this is out loud or in your mind, because the universe interprets vibrations, not words. So this is one of the reasons why, PileTwo, I always speak so much about vibrational frequency and how our frequency of what we are desiring has to match. Otherwise, those vibrations will never align. That connection will never be there. So PileTwo, this is your beautiful message. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys. Hi, PileThree. Welcome to this beautiful pick a card on the energies surrounding you and the urgent message that you need at this time. So PileThree, we are starting out with the Dalmatian Stone. So the Dalmatian Stone is a beautiful card, and it is a beautiful stone. But the message behind the Dalmatian Stone is all about playfulness. It's all about being childlike. The most interesting thing about Dalmatian Stone is that it's about learning to find humor in your everyday life. It's like learning to tune in to all of the absurdities that occur in your life and find humor in it. And I love this message because what it's truly saying here for you, PileThree, is that, if you are experiencing so many things in your everyday life, and there are things that could be challenging, there are things that could be frustrating, there are things that could be absurd, so much chaos, whatever it is, the Dalmatian Stone's energy and spirit is all about, not taking life so seriously. And it's really calling you to embrace the absurdity of the world and to laugh and find humor in your everyday experiences. Because otherwise, if you don't find the humor, it will do nothing more than just frustrate you. And that's not the energy that we really want to bring into our life. We want to be able to laugh in the face of adversity. We want to be able to laugh at all of the things that just, irritate us, frustrate us, make us angry, because laughter it helps us find joy. It helps us sort of look at things in a very different way. Whereas anger, frustration, anxiety, all of those things tend to cloud our intuition. They tend to bring confusion, and it brings us further and further. It sort of tears us away from that internal connection that we have to our higher aspect or our higher self. And so I just want to bring this up because this is something that I absolutely love. And I never thought about this until now, but one of the cartoons that I loved so much as a kid was 101 Dalmatians. And my favorite part in that was the dog Rolly, where he was always hungry. And my favorite part, whenever I would get frustrated, my wife and I have this thing where, she would constantly bring that one scene up in 101 Dalmatians. And I would just always sit back and I would say, "I'm hungry, Mother. I'm hungry." And the reason for that is because a lot of times whenever my frustration comes in, it's because I'm hangry. And it's because I've forgotten to eat, or I haven't had something in so long because I was so busy working and doing things, right? So I feel that it's important for us to really look at our everyday experiences and look at everything in life and sort of find humor in the things that tend to frustrate you or put you towards anger, right? Because that is how you ultimately will be able to it's sort of like dissipating that frustration a lot easier than it is when you're in that sense of frustration, right? It's more like emotional intelligence, okay? So let's move on here. So your next card is Into Me I See, okay? The Land Between and the Royal You. Wow, I love this. This is very interesting. Okay, so Into Me I See. So in this, what I'm really getting here is that it's really about trusting in other individuals, right? So let's look at how, when we often, in our everyday experiences, when we counter individuals that we often, don't really want to be around, right? The Into Me I See is really about our willingness to be able to drop any shields that we have when it comes to connecting with other individuals. It's really about not being so rigid in your boundaries and understanding that, it is valid for you to have boundaries when you are trying to build relationships. But I feel that where people often tend to take it to the extreme here is when they become so rigid in those boundaries that they're not even open to connection, but yet they're trying to call in someone that they want to build a relationship with, or they're trying to, build, have more friends, but they're not open because their boundaries are so rigid and so strict that they're not open to the potential of having connection. And so Into Me I See says that, you have to be willing to recognize, where you need to let go of some of your boundaries or where you need to let go of some of your beliefs, and you have to be willing to be vulnerable. So here's what I'm going to say, because I don't want you to get this confused in any way here, PileThree. A lot of times when people, say that they need boundaries with individuals, it's because they've been hurt very much in the past and they've been sort of taken advantage of a lot in the past. And I will be honest to say that those people that need boundaries don't have boundaries. They don't create boundaries for themselves. It is the individuals that don't need boundaries that have such strict, rigid boundaries. And it's those individuals that ultimately, at times, struggle finding connection or building relationships because they are so caught up in themselves. They're not willing to be vulnerable enough to let people see them for who they really are, or they're not willing to see themselves for exactly who they are. And I feel that this is where that connection sort of gets severed. It's interesting because in all of the decks so far, I've really used the word connection a lot because it's almost like there has to be a form of connection. Now, with this Into Me I See, it's really about, so I'm going to read you a little bit of what it says in the book. At certain precious moments, you're called into a deep and meaningful connection with the world or another person. A magical affinity arises with a kind of intimacy that in turn encourages a greater understanding of yourself. Now remember, I said this. This is about really understanding yourself, okay? Now, the relationship acts as a mirror, helping you see your own patterns. What it reflects about you can further your own personal evolution. Now is the time to take a risk by connecting with another. Can you see how far you've come? Can you see what is still active within you that needs to change or heal? You will discover more about who you are as you discover more about another. Even if you cannot possibly know what it's truly like to be in someone else's shoes, you can listen and learn. And I feel for you, PileThree, this is about you not taking life so seriously, especially when it comes to relationships. This is about you really needing to sort of be a little bit more leaner with yourself and learning to be open to letting people in, right? When we look at the Dalmatian stone and we know that it's really about finding the humor in all of the absurdities in life, maybe this is really about you needing to reflect on how maybe the rigidness that you have when it comes to relationships, you're needing to find some humor in that. You're needing to really explore that and build on relationships so that you could truly heal and change what needs to be changed within you so that you can experience the things that you ultimately want to experience. Okay. Now, moving on to the land between. Now, I absolutely love this one because the land between really speaks about being between worlds, right? And this is learning about being okay, being in between what was and what will be, right? So I often look at it as where you are and where you are moving to, right? Or where you were and where you are, right? So it's really about you needing to be okay with where you are in the transition of your life and in your experiences, right? So maybe this is about you needing to be okay with how your relationships were, and where you want your relationships to be, and how you're wanting to build upon that, right? I think that the land between is all about being in a state of change, and it's being in the middle of change. Like, so it's a process of change and how things transition from one stage to the next. Okay. And so it's important that you sort of be open to how things are going to change, because not only do you need to change, you need to be more aware of things that need to change within you in order for you, for your relationships to change, right? And for other people to change, right? If we know that we are all mirrors for each other, then this really is about you being open and perceptive to that change and how things sort of moved and shift, right? I feel like a lot of times when we're in the middle, especially when it comes to relationships, right? When we're in the middle, we feel sort of stuck. And the thing is that we're not stuck when it comes to those relationships when we're in the middle. We're having to truly decide and decipher, you know, what am I willing to let go of so that I can have what I truly desire or what I truly want, right? And I feel a lot of times people don't understand that, because a lot of times they want to take with them what they had in that relationship, but they're not willing to see, well, I'm not the only person at fault in this relationship, or they're not willing to see that those things didn't really work in that relationship. And those are things that ultimately need to be let go of, right? And I feel a lot of times people will be in the land between when it comes to relationships, and they inevitably go back. They go back to who they were because it's comfortable, because it feels safe, instead of being willing to allow themselves to be vulnerable, to get hurt, and explore what kind of relationship they want, right? And that sometimes can get very frustrating for people, right? But again, if we know that we have a tendency to fall into that frustration and fall into that anger, then how can we sort of look at that from a playful perspective and really ask ourselves, this just seems absurd. Why do I keep doing this, right? Like, you have to be able to laugh at yourself. You have to be able to laugh at your actions and be willing to explore why it feels absurd to you, and be willing to say, you know what, this doesn't make any sense to me, and just laugh it off. Okay. Now, next we have the royal you. Now, the royal you is all about your sovereignty, and it truly represents, the responsibility that you have based off of your actions, right? You are responsible for yourself. You need to have a sense of self-confidence. You need to be the owner of your own feelings and actions, and you have to be self-aware, right? And the one thing about sovereignty is that no one else can control you or rule you. You have to give them permission for that. And I feel that when it comes to relationships, a lot of times people would rather give away their rights, their freedom, their sovereignty, because they just don't want to be alone. They don't want to face their own fears or their own doubts, right? And here's what you must understand here, PileThree. You are responsible for your own emotions and your own actions in your everyday experiences. No one makes you mad. No one frustrates you. You give them permission to feel that way, because you're basically, owning what they're saying, and you're taking it to heart in the aspect that you're giving them permission to have that sense of control over you. And no one has control over you. You are a sovereign being who is in control of your own life, your own experiences based off of your own choices, your own decisions, your own actions, and you have control of your own emotions. And I feel a lot of times we don't want to have control of our own emotions. We want to be able to say, well, so-and-so, made me mad, or so-and-so made me sad. They didn't make you sad. What they did was they reflected to you an area within you that needs to be healed, that needs to change, but you're not willing to leave behind any fears that you have in relation to that. And so you choose to blame someone else because you're too afraid to own up to it. And this is the harsh reality here, PileThree. So let's go ahead and move on, because I want to see what else comes up for you. And we have the tarot deck here. So next we have the Two of Fire. Now, the Two of Fire is all about needing to make a choice. You're needing to choose which path you're going to take. And remember, you got the land between here. And the land between is about learning to be comfortable, learning to accept what was and what is, right? Or what was and what will be. It's ultimately up to you, but I feel like you're needing to ultimately choose. The Two of Wands is all about planning, and it's all about, you deciding which direction you're going to go, what new adventure you're going to explore. And I feel that, you have to be willing to decide for yourself. Are you wanting to stay in the same type of relationships and the same type of experiences, or are you wanting to explore something different? Now, I say that because I feel that this whole message here for you is all about relationships, and I feel that you're tired. You're tired of experiencing the same kind of relationships that aren't fulfilling to you. And I feel that's because you probably attract individuals who like to take from you, and you fall into those codependent relationships here, Pile3, where they're not equal, they're not balanced. And a lot of that has to do with the simple fact that you don't know how to choose. You don't know how to choose yourself. You don't know how to choose what's best for you. Again, I feel like you tend to slide more into this is what's comfortable for me, and I don't know what will be is going to contain or what it's going to look like. And so I would rather stay in the frustration and the instability that these relationships offer than to, trust in my own sovereignty and to be the confident person that I know I am, right? The Six of Earth is all about what I call reciprocity. Everything that we give out in this world comes back to us in this world. It's the same thing with relationships. You get what you give. So again, if you're the only one giving in a relationship, then what's wrong with that picture? And why does that continue to happen? See, these are the things that you have to explore here, Pile3. You have to be willing to explore, why do I keep having the same kind of experiences in my relationships? And again, you have to ask yourself, what am I not seeing? What am I being so rigid about that I ultimately can't see, that I continue to fall back or slide back into this same space? Okay. Now, you have call here. Okay. Call is at the heart of your reading. So what this is saying is that this is judgment. The call is all about judgment, and it's really you answering the call, rising to a higher calling. When you are in the land between, right, you need to really ask yourself, right? And I feel that your guides are really asking you, are you willing to accept what is in your current relationships? Are you willing to say, it is what it is? And are you willing to sort of cross that threshold and move into being the owner of your own emotions and your own actions, recognizing that you are a sovereign being and that you have control, right? So I feel that what's transpiring for you right now, Pile3, is that you are being called to really answer a call of accepting your sovereignty, accepting that you are this phenomenal being who can choose to have a different experience, who can choose to have different relationships, but you have to be willing to cross that threshold. You have to be willing to walk from one door into another and leave what is behind you and not go back, because you know that what is behind you is no longer accessible. It's no longer serving you. It's no longer providing for you what you ultimately need from it. Okay. Then we have the Page of Air. Okay, so this is all about you sort of needing to release and be clear of all of the doubts and the fears that are associated with all of those preconceived ideas or notions, all of those things, right? And I feel here, PileThree. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second. I feel here that, you know, when it comes to the page of air, the page of air is all about having new ideas. Okay. It's about cutting ties with all of the things from the old. And it's really about being curious, allowing yourself to focus on something new and something fresh, right? So you're sort of washing your hands. You know, notice how this angel here is sort of hands are in the air, and she's releasing herself of all of the old notions, ideas, thought patterns that she has when it comes to relationships and the things that she ultimately would experience, right? When you answer the call, you ultimately are now answering the call to create new focus, and that you are allowing yourself to be open to new experiences that will ultimately be more fulfilling for you. Yes, look, with the Eight of Fire, it's all about new inspirations, new experiences, new ideas coming in and allowing and, you know, and providing you, like feeding the flame of your passion and your desires, and having all of those experiences be so much more fulfilling for you, so much more passion, excitement. You know, I feel that this is ultimately what you're needing to do. And I feel that, you know, whenever you experience a relationship that you know is not right for you, this is where you need to not take it so seriously. You need to say, okay, well, this one taught me this. Now it's time to move on, and laugh it off, right? Because it's not that, you know, these people did these things to you. That's the idea and the old idea and the old perception that you need to let go of. You need to wash yourself of. You need to wash it off, cut it off, right? Because now you're going to want to attract things that are more passionate, that are more desiring, that are more full of excitement and new adventure. Like those are the things that you're wanting to call in and bring into your everyday. Okay, so next we have Drifter, experiencing life as it comes, and Benefactor, grace and generosity. Okay, this is very interesting because, you know, Drifter is all about you needing to experience life as it comes to you, and how it sort of floats or sails to you, right? And it's all about being okay. I still feel that it has a lot to do with the land between, like you ultimately choosing, right? You get to choose. You get to decide, you know, what is it that you're ultimately wanting to experience? Like that should be the first question, right? And I feel that when life sort of, you know, comes your way, and as you experience it, what lights you up? What makes you excited, right? It's really about those kinds of things. It's about seeking the essence, but not knowing how it's going to actually show up, right? So the whole excitement of, so let me use this as an analogy. The whole excitement of Christmas presents is that it is a present that is being wrapped up, especially for you. It's got your name and it's wrapped up so beautifully, right? And the whole excitement as a child or even as an adult, because I don't know about you, I still get excited about Christmas presents, okay? But the whole excitement and anticipation is the not knowing what it is, right? And so when we look at the box, we start to imagine and we start to think, oh my God, it could be this, it could be that. What is it? And we get excited, and some of us shake the box because some of us get really excited, and that inner child in us comes out, right? And our imagination just goes crazy about what it could possibly be, right? And the whole beauty is that we unwrap it, we open it up, and we get so excited. And when we see it, we just start to, you know, gleam with so much joy and excitement. And we get so excited once we actually see it, right? That's the whole thing about experiencing life as it comes. You have to be excited about it and really ask yourself, what makes me so excited that I just can't wait to experience it again? See, this is where I feel here, PileThree, that when it comes to relationships for you is that you're needing to find that experience. You're needing to drift in and out of different types of relationships so that you can experience what those relationships are and really identify what lights you up, what makes you excited. And I feel that, you're going to come across a lot of individuals that are going to love you, that are going to grace you with their beautiful, magnificent presence. And I feel this is where you're needing to be grateful, because recognize that, not everyone is going to stay within your circle of friends, and not everyone will be there forever. But you can always look back on what those individuals graced you with. You can look back on how they loved you and how they cared for you and what they gave you and what they taught you, right? That's the whole beauty of, looking at life through the lens of joy, right? So your next card is Magnanimous Me. Okay, and so we're going to read what it says in the book for you here. So Magnanimous Me, I don't know why that feels like a tongue twister to me, but Magnanimous Me says, this is the time for your true nature to bloom like a crocus in the spring. You are nothing but a big ball of love, and the only thing you really want is to love up on everyone. This is a good time to get in touch with that higher truth and free your generous spirit, kindness. I love this for you, PileThree, because this is everything that we've spoken about, right? Like, you have so much to offer, so much to give. You have a big heart, but I feel like you're needing to sort of drop these perceptions or these ideas of what relationships should be, what they are, and just sort of accept them for what they are and accept the individuals for who they are. Your last card is Whispers, and I'm going to read you what it says in the book, because I feel like your guides really have a deep, intense message for you here when it comes to this whole message. It's just absolutely beautiful. So Whispers is all about our soul voice. It's about the inner voice that we have. So Whispers says, your mind and heart are expanding to hear your soul whispers. You are, or will soon, find it easier to interpret and understand the vibes of your soul through how you feel. Open the door to soul whispers by feeling appreciative. Close the door by feeling judgmental. The messages are always there, even if you are not receiving them. Practice feeling soul vibes to clarify your intuition and psychic senses. Just like we know a dog can hear sounds, we can't. Your intuition interprets waves and impulses outside of your conscious awareness. This card is also prompting you to take notice of your dreams. When you are asleep, you cease conscious thought and resistance, making it easier for you to receive soul transmissions. If you embrace the messages that come through your dreams, you will invite more of the same. If you don't like a dream, see it as a sign to shift your focus or change a belief. PileThree, this is your beautiful message. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys. Hi, Pile4. Welcome to your pick a card on the energy that is surrounding you and the urgent message that you need at this time. So pile 4, you are starting out with raw morganite. Now, raw morganite is all about compassion. It's about gentleness. It's about empathy, and it's about allowing yourself to be vulnerable and self-forgiving. So I feel that your message here at this time, pile 4, is all about you learning to be vulnerable to the experiences, to the situations, relationships that are currently going on in your everyday life. And I feel it's important that you allow things to be what they are and be forgiving. So it's really about being gentle with yourself at this time and really having some compassion and some empathy for yourself. I want to really point that out because I really feel that, you might be the type of person that has a tendency to be really hard on yourself, very critical of yourself. And I feel that at this time, you're really needing to be a little bit more soft, a little bit more gentle with yourself, because I feel that at this time, you being vulnerable is really how you are healing. It's really how you are shifting from one state of consciousness into another. So, and I do feel that that's because you are, there's so many things that you are going to be experiencing that I feel like you might take it to heart a little too much. And they're not wanting you to get stuck or stay in a certain emotional vibrational state. Okay. So we have a higher view with imperfect harmony and great big love. Okay. A higher view is all about having a higher perspective. It's about seeing things from the observer perspective, sort of seeing the higher purpose, the higher calling, the higher reason for why things occur the way that they do or why they unfold the way that they do, right? And in this particular aspect, a higher view is all about needing to be aware of everything that is sort of occurring around you and being conscious about it. It's also about not taking sides. And I feel that's important because I feel like when you sort of shift your awareness or your consciousness from a higher perspective, you're being very neutral about it. You're not really choosing one side or the other. It's almost like observing it from that perspective where you're not connected emotionally or attached to it in any single way. And really it's about, not having any judgment towards the experience or anything. And, it's releasing your sense of assumptions, right? Like not assuming, not being attached, not being biased in any way. And I feel that's important. And the reason for that, and here's what I'm going to say. I feel that the reason for that is because, I feel that in a lot of ways, when we can see things from a non-judgmental, non-biased way, and when we detach ourselves emotionally from certain situations or experiences, and when we can truly observe what is transpiring or what is going on, it's a lot easier for us to sort of see the harmony that is missing or the harmony that already exists, right? Because imperfect harmony is all about togetherness. And it's all about partnerships, being in committed relationships. It's about collaborating with others. And I feel that this is about, you really needing to find the harmony in your relationships and your experiences in your everyday life. And sometimes that can be a little challenging for people, right? Because if they actually have a specific person in their life that they find very frustrating or very challenging, or they sort of feel like I'm not connected to this person whatsoever, really ask yourself, are you not connected to this individual because you're making assumptions? Are you placing judgments upon them? Because we do this all the time. We're all guilty of this. We don't look at it that way, but the reality is that we do this all of the time. And this is what we're needing to be aware of, right? This is why you got raw morganite. Because again, you know, even though raw morganite even though rock itself is solid and is hard, over time, the more persistent, water will push itself in a rock and will create certain grooves in that hard rock over time, right? And so in this particular case, this is about you learning to have a little bit more of a softer side, being more compassionate, being empathetic towards someone. You don't know what other people are going through. You don't know what experiences they themselves are having. Does it give them an excuse to be an a-hole? No. But it also doesn't give you the excuse to be an a-hole back, or to judge them, or to assume certain things about them and their experience and their life. So I feel that what this is really saying for you is that you're needing to observe things from a higher perspective and not have any judgment or any attachment to it whatsoever. And I feel that when you can do that, you can actually see the energy that is around the situation, the circumstance or the relationship, and you can sort of find ways on how you can build harmony and togetherness in relation to all of that. Now, when we move on to great big love, what great big love is really saying is it's actually saying that we can experience some of the greatest amounts of love when we can look at it without conditions. And I have said this for many years. We don't really truly understand unconditional love, because a lot of what we experience here in our physical reality is what we know as conditional love. And I feel like we're needing to really explore the meaning and the depth and the understanding behind unconditional love. Great big love is about love and how experiencing love without conditions can change you, and how that feeling and having that experience can create deep and profound connections towards you and other individuals. And, I feel for you, Pile 4, this is interesting because I do feel that this pile is also about relationships, and Pile 3 was also about relationships. So if you were drawn to Pile 3 as well, which was the Dalmatian stone, I'm going to advise you, Pile 4, to go look at Pile 3 as well. Pile 4, I will tell you that, your message at this time is really about creating harmony, about connection, and building connection and unity in your everyday experiences. Now, let's move on to the tarot, because I want to see what additional information, Spirit has for you here. So we're starting off with the King of Water here. And the King of Water is all about, it's the King of Cups. And I really view the King of Cups as an individual who is so self-assured, so connected to their inner knowing, and is living a life of wholehearted living, that, they don't, they're not really worried about everything that is going on around them, because they're deeply connected to their own heart, and they're following their heart's desire. And that's the most beautiful thing that you could possibly get from the King of Water. It's all about being generous. It's fair. right? It's about being gentle and non-judgmental, a peacemaker, a listener, a mediator. And I feel this is what you're really needing to do. You're really needing to be this for others and for yourself, right? You're needing to sort of bring that aspect in. Next, we have the messenger of water here. And, you know, this is interesting because I feel like what it's ultimately saying is that, you know, you're needing to sort of, you know, have this romantic attention, right? You need to see the best in others, right? And I feel that when it comes to the relationships, again, the higher aspect is all about, you know, not being attached in any way, not being judgmental, not making assumptions. And the messenger of water is just that, right? It's about, you know, seeing the best in others. And it's also about sort of bringing an awareness to how you love yourself and how you love others and how affectionate you can be. I did say earlier that I really felt this was all about a relationship with yourself, because I did feel that it was all about, you know, how you actually see yourself and how you actually love yourself and how kind are you to yourself. And I'm not gonna sway from that, because I do feel that although this is about relationships, I think the primary focus here for you, Pile 4, is all about your own personal relationship with yourself. Now, at the heart of your reading, you have the Queen of Air. Now, the Queen of Air is the Queen of Swords, okay? And the Queen of Air, I kind of look at her as, you know, it's almost like I look at her as being very self-aware, being very confident, having a great sense of self-esteem. I feel that there is a lot of clear communication that she gives. Like, there are no questions to be asked when it comes to the Queen of Air. And I feel like this is all about setting, you know, making sure that you're setting healthy boundaries and being very shrewd. She's basically, you know, gonna cut out all of the BS in her life. And I feel that for you here, Pile 4, this is all about you needing to sort of be very self-aware. You need to be very self-aware of your actions, your thoughts, your beliefs about yourself. And you need to cut out what isn't serving you. Whatever is not healthy for you is what you need to cut out. And I feel like you have to set better boundaries, even for yourself here, Pile 4, because I feel like you're needing to really, again, be gentle, be very calm, and you need to love on yourself a little bit more, you know? And I feel that with the Queen of Air at the heart of your reading, it's all about you being very calculating, recognizing when you have to set those boundaries and really rely on those boundaries, and when you can just sort of relax on those boundaries, when you can allow the King of Air to sort of come in and, you know, be that generous mediator with yourself. Okay, because I do sort of feel like there's a lot of emotional turmoil that's going on here, and I feel this is what's really needing to be focused on. Now, you have the Ten of Fire with the Messenger of Earth. Okay, so when I look at the Ten of Fire is the 10 of Wands. And the Ten of Wands is all about, you know, the energy of being releasing, right? So the Ten of Fire is all about releasing the burdens, releasing all of the excess things that we ultimately no longer need, right? It's clearing away all of the old so that we can make way for all of the new. And I feel this is what you're needing to do here. I feel that, you know, maybe you're at a time right now, Pile 4, where you're taking an evaluation of all of your relationships. And maybe you've kind of taken a step back from all of your relationships. And now you're focusing on a relationship with yourself. And you're really examining, you know, what are the things that I have to ultimately let go of, that I need to cut out, that I need to burn and let fall away because it's not helping me in any way. Right? It's not serving me in any way. It's not providing me with anything that ultimately, you know, that I love or that, you know, loves me back. Okay. With the 10 of fire, again, it's all about, you know, releasing the excess, right? What excess have you ultimately need to like burn and let go of so that it can completely be washed away? As we move to the messenger of earth, okay, the messenger of earth is all about that hard work. The messenger of earth here is the Knight of Pentacles, and it's about loyalty, having a deep sense of loyalty, proceeding with like integrity, and being very careful about what actions we're actually taking. What I love about the messenger of earth is that the messenger of earth is very consistent and loyal in their efforts because they're building towards their future. Okay. And I feel that you're needing to be committed to yourself. You're needing to really push through and be committed to building more harmonious relationships, even if it's just a harmonious relationship with yourself. Okay. And it's about dedication. It's about having a great sense of stamina, and being able to do it perfectly, right? Literally perfectly. And well, not so much perfectly, but just being that comfortable with it. Okay. So overall, Pile 4, as of now, I feel this is a really great message for you. I feel like you're needing to really sort of look at things from a non-judgmental place about all the relationships or the experiences going on in your life. And you're really needing to sort of cut out and let go of all of the things that are no longer serving you as you transition from this old cycle into a new cycle. So next we have Sky Bridge, which is possibility for union, with straddling worlds, wandering between realms. Okay. This is interesting because, again, I do feel this is about relationships. And the Sky Bridge is really about, you know, you sort of ascending to a higher form of relationship, what I call relationship union. And in this aspect, it could be, you know, a higher relationship with others or a higher relationship with yourself. I do feel that you are in between these two worlds where it's the old you versus the new you, and you're just battling it out, trying to figure out where you're going to fall or where it's going to go. And the thing is that, you know, there is no right, there is no wrong. It just is. And this is the thing that I feel you ultimately need the most of at this time. So I feel that for you here, I feel as you continue to rise, as you continue to understand and build harmony within yourself, you will start attracting and calling in higher relationships with higher standards and higher means of where you will be able to decipher, yes, I want this relationship, or no, I don't want this relationship. And I feel that's important for you here. So next up, we have free falling. For some reason, that song just popped into my head, so I want you to go ahead and look up the lyrics for the song "Free Falling." I am going to read you what it says here in the book for "Free Falling." And, but I do encourage you here, Pile 4, to look up the lyrics for the song Free Fallin'. So Free Fallin' says, "It doesn't get much better than this. Deep, radical trust that appearances mean nothing and that you and only you are the captain of your ship. What you say goes. You are in unrestrained motion and unseen forces are awaiting your command." I absolutely love this, Pile 4, because again, I do feel that you are rising to a higher form of understanding when it comes to relationships and when it just comes to life experiences in general. I feel that you're actually rising to your higher truth. You're rising to a deeper sense of authenticity where the real you is coming forward, and now you're having to reevaluate, what are you wanting to keep and what are you wanting to let go of? So last but not least, we have authentic truth, and I love this. So this is a high frequency card. I am going to read you what it says in the book, but authentic truth is exactly that. It is exactly what it says. It truly speaks about discovering your truth and letting others find theirs, recognizing that, what others believe is their belief. And we have to be compassionate about what they believe and how they feel. The interesting thing I said earlier, that if you were drawn to PileThree, that you should check that one out, because one of the cards that came through spoke a lot about sovereignty. And I feel that that is the most important thing for any of us that are in this time on earth right now, that we need to become acquainted with. We have to understand our sense of sovereignty and that we are in control of our own actions, our own thoughts, our own emotions, and that no one else can control or manipulate us without our permission. So you have to declare your sovereignty here. So authentic truth. The truth will set you free, so long as you recognize there is more than one truth and that the answers you seek exist beyond the beliefs you hold now. There are many truths in this world. You don't have to believe them all. Just focus on what resonates with you. If you must convince yourself of your beliefs, they are not your truth. Your truth will always fulfill and satisfy you. It is unconditional, meaning conditions don't have to change for you to live and feel your truth. There is no right or wrong, but there is cause and effect, or action and reaction. Master yourself, not someone else's processes. When you change your beliefs, your life changes to match it. To do this, you must be aware of how you feel and practice focusing on what makes your heart sing and not shrink. When you align with your truth, you will flow. You will feel excited and believe an authentic life is possible. It is not your truth you will resist. Find it hard to commit and feel indecisive. So Pile 4, this is your message. And I feel that what you're ultimately really rising to at this time is that you are rising to your higher sense of divinity. And your authentic truth is that we have to learn to be compassionate and understanding of people in where they are in their life, in their journey, in their path, and allow them to be what they are. Recognize that, who they are is who they are. We cannot change them, because then we place conditions on loving them based off of how you expect them to be. And remember, you got great big love. And that is all about unconditional love and loving with no conditions. So Pile 4, this is your message. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys.